Hello, 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 beautiful, lovely show friends. Welcome to the lovely, and it's great to see and have you here. I'm here with Teri Mister. Hi, Teri.
Hi, Beverly.
So, for those of you, if you're in the chat with us, I see there's some people that have joined the room. Please start chatting. Say hi. We want to know who's here. Please say hi. It's me. And if you have any questions, feel free to put your question in the chat there so that we can get it answered by Teri for you today. And just a little info on Teri, who I'm interviewing today. She is the founder and creator of the Transformational Truth Technique and Technology. She's an extraordinary and empowerment coach who is committed to understanding and integrating unconditional love. For her own transformation, she developed the Transformational Truth Technology to allow her transformations to be quicker, easier, and more fun. She is here to share the knowledge that has freed her from a life stuck in fear versus love, right versus wrong, bad versus good, into a life based on unconditional love, unlimited possibilities, potentials, and perceptions, which is a life filled with magical and miraculous synchronicities. She studied over 21 years with Abraham Hicks Materials and was a group leader in her home for over 12 years. Her relaxed, loving style and unshakable perception of unconditional love and wellness form transformation, enlightening, and fun. She's an author, public speaker, and has been a guest on several radio and has aired on TV shows. She's a Reiki master and Kalos facilitator. And so without further ado, I'm welcoming Teri to the room. And we've got, welcome Teri, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. Teri's sound is a little bit low, so we're gonna do what we can here with the show. Barbara has just come in and said, I'm a graduate of TTT twice, both times with Louise Lambert. So we've got Teri's technique is called the TTT. She calls it TTT for short. And I can tell you, I have had some experience with Teri's TTT technique. It is incredible and it works like a bomb. So if you'd like to be TTT today, yeah, come and say hi for us. Mark is saying aloha from Maui. Welcome, Mark. Great to have you in the room with us today as well. So, Teri. So, what's that?
And thank you for being here.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you here. Very, very, very exciting. So, I want to just find out from you, how long have you been, when did you start with your TTT technique? When did it actually start?
It basically started about 28 years ago. And as a result of what's going on in my body as a result of post-polio syndrome, I let the medical establishment protect me into my body. Went into total decline.
So, Teri, we are having trouble hearing you. It's a very, very soft. Is there a way you could, I'm not sure where your microphone is on your laptop, or if you can maybe just look at your earpiece and just bring it around so that the microphone can actually be in front of your mouth.
There you go. How's that?
Oh, we can hear you. This is amazing.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Can everyone hear Teri well now? Just let me know that you guys can all hear her as well.
Yeah, I am not altogether tech savvy. Now, energy-wise and dowsing energy, I'm working with the elementals. Okay, that field I understand, but the technical, I'm getting there. I've learned so much. Anyway, so when they put the Teflon in, my body basically went into a decline. It was toxic to everything in my body. So that set me on this journey. And in the process of seeking ways of healing, I learned this Kalos process from Valerie Gersh. And in there was this right-left brain stuff that went on. And all the clearing that would take place till then was always very emotional and very long lived. They would, be like an hour and a half, and so painful. One day I just said, I don't think it should be so painful, and I don't think it should take so long. It seems to me like we should be able to shift into knowing who we are, that we are love. And at that time, I was kind of on my journey very straight. In other words, I stood for love. I didn't really understand what it what it meant, but I did make a commitment, which actually is what sent me on this journey, to understand and to live unconditional love. So that the way the universe works, not always the way we think it ought to work, but in order to really get my attention, I needed to create something that took me down to level 1, not 0, because if it was 0, I wouldn't still be here. And so, and it had to be something that would keep me down long enough that I wouldn't go right back into my old patterns. So every time I would try to go into some old patterns, I would get knocked down with not well-being. Well, when I learned this process, I did it myself. And then I learned about dowsing, and I connected the 4-question process that I use to access the right brain, the left brain, the conscious mind, and the unconscious mind, to access my own ways that I was deceiving myself and thinking that I'm not, thinking I'm just as honest as they come, finding out what I was dishonest about was the truth that I am love. So I did get to where I'm wondering, is this clicking on the microphone? Okay. So then I incorporated those 4 questions and the dowsings to see if people are actually lined up with what they know to be true. And lo and behold, most people really had not a clue. And so because I developed it and there was not much confidence within me, even though people would tell me how beneficial it was for them and how it created permanent shifts, it was difficult for me to own the preciousness of that gift. So it has evolved and developed since I first started that. And it continues to evolve. It continues to expand in wisdom and knowledge and my ability to allow the information to flow in order to help people line up with who they really are, which is my intention always. And the people that come to me generally are ripe and ready to really shift. So, some basic things to them, they're ready. And so when we run through these questions, they're ready not to have resistance. And if there's resistance, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And if I just hold that place of love, which I do, I'm able to hold that place of love when I'm assisting people in remembering then it just flows. It just flows. And by not making them wrong or pushing against their resistance, it just kind of evolves into, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, until they actually really get what they're believing to be true that is not, that separates them from the love that they are. And once they get that, it's like we know we can't go backwards. So that would be one level. And I've also learned that there's always more layers that show up, and we're never wrong. It doesn't mean we're not loved. It just means we're believing something to be true that's not. So
Wow, Teri, I love that. And I love how you've developed this over time. And just as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, is there anyone in the room right now with us that has a burning question for Teri, who would like to be TTT'd right now here live on the Love Your Life show? There is a little thing there where you can raise your hand and I can bring you into the room. You would obviously need to make sure that you've got a microphone and a video and microphone. But Barbara, there is no way for me to turn down my volume. The volume is set based on where we're at. So there's nothing I can do with that. So if you have a question and you'd like to ask it, please do me a favor and just put your hand, raise your hand, and then we can bring you into the room if you want to play with us. So while we're waiting for that, Teri, okay, so you've been developing this over a number of years, and you work a lot with the muscle testing as well. So you actually teach people how to do this for themselves as well, or is it just more that you just do the coaching at this point? How does it work?
I have taught the TTT classes. I've kind of taken a break, a very long break. And the actual coaching classes, I sometimes have an opportunity. Well, yeah, I teach. Actually, every client I ever have, I'm teaching them, because I teach them what the process is. The process itself is very simple, very simple. It's just the 4 questions, and then you use dowsing, which is measuring either through muscle testing or through a biofield, that we have an energy field that expands or contracts when something's in harmony for us. And it's easy to teach the muscle testing. The difficulty I find in the beginning is that people don't really know where to go with it, and it takes practice in just playing with it. Just that's what I did in the beginning, was I just played with this cross that seemed to come through. And that's true with everything that ever comes up. But I want to share, I wrote a job description the other day. Okay, so my job is to release us from the grip of the belief we are separate from God. My job is to release humans from the game of love versus fear, right versus wrong, good versus evil, and so on. Freedom by letting go of judgment. My job is to stand up for love, no matter what. My job is to dance with the God in you in the field of infinite possibilities, potentials, and perspectives.
Wow, I love that. 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 And, you know, I think my feeling is, obviously we haven't had anyone who's jumping up and down to have a question with you. So I'm going to put myself on the spot, and I'm going to play guinea pig now, and maybe then we'll get some more people coming out of the woodwork. So I think the question I'm gonna bring about for myself, and I know that you have 4 main questions that you ask, and the reason I want to do this is because I want people to see how this technique works and how powerful it is. So I'm gonna put out there, because I think some people have obviously also gone through Christmas time now, and there's like this dip in the holidays, and everyone's maxed out their credit cards and gone ballistic with shopping, and now it's going to be another year of paying off the credit cards and working hard and this whole story. So what my question is going to be, how could I'm going to actually make it personal. How could I come to be, have no more separation with money, that money just flows into my bank account from all directions, or into my hands, not even bank account, into my hands, from all different directions. So let's do that as a question for everyone who would like to have financial abundance. You, me, everyone on the call, everyone who might watch it. What would you say is some of the blocks that, or things that are blocking me from receiving massive amounts of, like, huge amounts of abundance, of financial flow?
Okay, so I can do it my way, right?
However you want to do it. I am totally in your hands, Teri. I trust you, like I trust my Hanai mama, like, so much.
Okay, so let me explain to people who don't know anything about this what the 4 questions are and how the process works. And then I'll explain the direction we're going to go with what you're asking for.
Perfect.
So, excuse me. The first question is, do you think you want? And then here it's going to be, do you think you want to allow yourself to receive all the money that could possibly come your direction? Unlimited supply. You answer that question, yes or no, then I will douse your answer to make sure you're lined up with your source self or your love. And that checks your left brain. Then the second question is, do you feel you want to allow yourself to receive that? You answer that question, yes or no, and then I'll douse your answer. That's your right brain. Then I will ask you, do you think you can allow yourself to receive it? And that's, again, your left brain, and whether you can allow that. And then the fourth question is, do you feel you can? And that, again, you answer the question, then I'll douse your answer. So the intention here is to see if there's some place you're not in alignment with receiving what you say you want. So the baseline is always to start with, what do you want? And so you basically said what you're wanting is an unlimited amount of money. Okay, so
yeah. Money flowing in on a, like, consistent money flows. So it's like there's just every day there's just money. It's like, wow, okay, this is good. Okay, wow, there's no more any worry about money whatsoever.
Okay, so you think you want an unlimited supply of money, so there will be no more worries about money.
Yes.
Okay. I'm wondering if it would be better to phrase it that you're wanting unlimited money.
Okay, so let's just say then, just unlimited money. Let's make it simple.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find the words it's about. Okay. So let's just do that and let's see where it goes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do muscle testing. And what I do is I put my 2 fingers between these 2 fingers, and I'm pushing with the inner fingers, pushing the other ones out. So if her answer is true, it'll stay strong. If it's not, it'll open up. And that tells me that they're not in alignment with it. And then we'll explore, okay, what's going on? Okay? So, do you think you want to allow yourself to receive unlimited supply of money?
Yes.
And do you feel you want to allow yourself to receive unlimited supply of money?
Yes.
Do you think you can allow yourself to receive unlimited supply of money?
Yes.
Do you feel you can allow yourself to receive an unlimited supply of money?
Yes.
And do you think you can allow yourself to receive an unlimited supply of money?
Yes.
Do you feel a difference in the energy between that answer and the other three?
I don't know.
Okay, I just want to let you know that the think you can allow is you don't.
I think I can, but I don't feel it.
No, you think you can. You don't think you can, but you feel you can. You think and feel you want to, and you feel you can, but you don't think you can.
Okay, so the 4 questions are basically, do you think you can? Do you think you want to? Do you feel you want to? Do you think you can? Yeah, so do you think you want to allow yourself to receive lots of money? Do you feel you want to allow yourself to receive lots of money? Do you think you can allow yourself to receive lots of money? Do you feel you can allow yourself to receive lots of money? So it's a thinking you want to and thinking you can, and feeling you want to and feeling you can, correct?
Correct.
Those are the 4 basic kind of questions that you're muscle testing on. And so what you do then is you make sure that I'm in alignment with each 4 of those questions, each 4 of those energies, because if I'm thinking and feeling I can, if I'm thinking and feeling I want to, then my desire is in alignment. And if I'm thinking and feeling I can, then my actual experiencing of it is in alignment. But if any one of them is out of alignment, then all of them, it's all out of alignment. It's not going to come to fruition because my energy isn't in the alignment with that specific, what I'm actually choosing.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So that I'm just trying to kind of clarify so people watching can actually understand how this process works. And how it's working with your left and right hemisphere of your brain, your thinking and your feeling. And then it's working with your unconscious and conscious. So the conscious would be the part of you that is which part would that be? The part that wants it?
No. That's the, what was that question?
So you said you work with the conscious and unconscious. So
okay.
Which part, how would you be distinguishing the conscious part?
Left brain.
Left brain is
okay. Conscious is your answer.
Okay.
And
unconscious is the muscle testing that you do because there's an unconscious answer as well as a conscious answer. So I might say yes, but the unconscious answer, which is the one that you're muscle testing, is saying no.
Well, that's one way to put it. What I'm testing is, you could say the unconscious is your spirit, is your source self, is your,
okay.
And there's also with the left and right brain, there's like a conscious and unconscious.
Okay.
So it's the alignment with your source self in your personal answers. So I am not testing the question. I'm testing your answer.
Okay.
To see if that answer is in alignment with your source self, which is all.
Okay. Okay. And so then the ones that were in alignment were my thinking I want to and thinking I want to and feeling I want to was in alignment, yes. Correct? Yes. So my answer was in alignment. When I answered yes, it was in alignment. And then feeling I could was in alignment, but thinking I could wasn't in alignment. Correct. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay.
So from there, what we do is we explore what might be in the way.
Okay.
Of your thinking that you couldn't allow yourself to receive it.
Okay. So what's in the way? Are you asking me that one? What's in the way of me thinking that I could allow myself to receive infinite amounts of money? Well, I don't know how.
So do you think you've chosen to believe you don't know how?
Yes.
And do you feel you've chosen to believe you don't know how?
No.
Well, that's true. Okay. But you do think that you made that choice. So do you think that belief is true?
No.
Do you feel that belief is true?
No.
Okay. So do you think you want to allow it to shift?
Yes.
And you feel you want to allow it to shift?
Yes.
So do you think you want to allow yourself to acknowledge you had chosen to believe you don't know how?
Yes.
And further acknowledge that belief is not true?
Yes.
And do you feel you want to allow yourself to acknowledge you had chosen to believe you don't know how?
Yes.
And further acknowledge that belief is not true?
Yes.
And do you think you can allow yourself to acknowledge you had chosen to believe that you don't know how?
Yes.
And further acknowledge that belief is not true?
Yes.
And do you feel you can allow yourself to acknowledge you had chosen to believe you don't know how?
Yes.
And further acknowledge that belief is not true?
Yes.
Okay, so if that is not true, what belief would be true and that you want to choose to replace it with?
I do know how. I've always known how, and I always will know how, because I'm not separate from any of the money that is wanting to come into my life, because it's energy, because I am energy. So what if there is no how? It's just in knowing that I already have it. There isn't a fence of I've got to climb over how in order to get to it. It's like there is no fence because it's already there.
So, yes, and how about if we phrase it this way? Everything is love, including money, so there is no separation. So, do you think you want to choose to believe that?
Yes.
And do you want to choose to believe that?
Yes.
And you think you can?
Yes.
And you feel you can?
Yes.
So then, do you think you can allow yourself to receive unlimited supply of money?
Yes.
And you feel you can?
Yes.
And you think you want to?
Yes.
You
Yes. It's so fun.
It is. It is.
I can actually feel the shift inside of me. I can feel like it's just like, duh. What I mean, like, duh.
That's great. That's great.
And what you can do is laugh, because it's like you recognize how silly it was that you got caught up in this little story in your mind, which wasn't true. And also it's like, when you come to a place where you realize we are all love, everything is love, we're made of love, love is all that is, love is all that exists. When you recognize that you can bring money and love, money is just a form of love in a physical expression, and any of the other stories we tell ourselves around it is just keeping us from the love that we are. It's like, thank God.
The truth is so simple.
Yes. It's so transformational. Yeah.
So, of course, with you, I'm getting an echo. I wonder if anybody else is. With you, it was easy because you have a lot of the same background in knowledge and wisdom. Now, a lot of people need a little more information to really get them to the point where they could acknowledge the truth in that. And one of the things I use is a story that I heard about money and the fact that we all are love, including money. And just like us, I mean, we've bought into what it is to be human and what that means, and all this not good enough, and there's something wrong with me, and I'm not lovable. Well, money also has been given a rap, like I'm not enough. You use me for things that are not, well, I was going to say my estimation loving, but they don't have a judgment. There's no judgment from. So what we're really, that's one of the ways we know when we are living from the truth of who we are, is that we don't have judgment, because God or love has no judgment. So that's one of the quickest ways to identify when I'm allowing the separation from the truth of who I really am. And it's painful. It just is very painful. And it behooves me and kind of cracks me up about how often I do that. You know, it's like, you should know better, Teri. You know better than that. But dang it. Oh, I'm such a loser. Oh my God. Oh, geez. I love what Melissa was saying, is how you just kind of laugh and just go, doesn't mean anything. I don't care. I know who I am, and just kind of surrender into that. And a lot of, there's so many people with so many wonderful tools, and the other thing that trips us is comparison. So I go into comparing myself as I hear all these wonderful things from other people, and I go, oh, it's like people keep assuring me that I do. But I so admire, I swear to God, everybody I meet, I don't care who they are, everybody has gifts. And so I'm so admiring their gifts that, and apparently some kind of comparison going on. And, you know, so that's just part of the journey.
And I think a lot of us, a lot of people, a lot of us, we can see it so easily in someone else, but then looking at ourselves, it's like, no, I'm not like that. But it's really you also have those gifts within you. And I think that's part of what this whole awakening is about, is recognizing we all have unique and beautiful gifts that we've come here to share with the world, and not comparing ourselves to others, and not comparing ourselves to our past, or comparing ourselves to how we should be in the future. You know, that's, I think, one of the games that we play is this belief in this past future thing, that we think that we should either be like our past or not be like our past, or be like our future or not be like our future, or whatever the case may be. And it's just it's a funny story, because this is all that there is. And I've got Barbara here saying, I'm remembering the experience for discovering the ways in which we override our own truth by the story we tell. And it's true. We are truth here and now. And if we keep on telling these stories, then we're not being here and now, we're being in the stories, and we're not fully in our power, because we're giving all of our power to these stories.
Yeah, I actually came up with a new process the other day. Because we all tell these stories. I tell my story, I catch myself in my story. And I was remembering how we would, something would come up and you'd say something, and you'd say, and that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. And I looked at my story and I went, oh no, I'm not going to stick with that story. I said, I'm not going to, that's my story, and I'm not sticking to it. That belongs to the consciousness of the human collective consciousness. And I came here to turn all of this into love, and to not judge it, not try to get rid of it, acknowledge it, and say, it's not mine, and I'm turning you over to love. So I was like, that process came to me, I don't know, probably really early in the morning. I'm really excited because I'm starting to get really creative again. in coming up with new ideas. And it's like, that's the Teri I remember. Yeah.
And you've obviously, in your life, you've had quite a lot of challenges and things, obviously with the polio when you were very young, and then obviously the Teflon that you had in your throat, which is what you thought you have Teflon in your throat because you were very ill. And so there's a lot of stuff that you've had to deal with in your own healing journey. And I mean, right now you're an inspiration for very many people, I think, in the more mature age range of 70 plus. To say, you know what I mean? I mean, honestly, you go to the beach and you swim and you're active and you look after yourself and you eat the most high vibrational foods and you've got the most amazing outlook and perspective on life, and you're always looking to be involved with amazing people, and you're uplifting, and you're like the life and soul of the party, and you're the one who brings everyone to your space and opens up your doors and opens up your arms and gives and gives and gives and gives and gives and gives and gives. So like I just feel like you're such an incredible, your role model, yes, but also like poster girl. It's, totally like you really embody so much of this knowledge and this wisdom, and I know that, I mean, there's so many people that look to you because you hold that frequency and you embody it so fully, and you don't even realize that you embody it all the time. Like it's so magnificent to see you with how you are with people, and how I wouldn't say, yes, humble is kind of the word, but it's more like it's just so naturally you that you can't deny it. It's amazing. So Barbara's saying, true, the mature age range is where we are in our timeline.
Yay, Barbara! A magnificent woman, I'll tell you.
You see, so this is the thing. And with what you've got, this gift of the transformational truth technique, I mean, we've just like literally in this show, we've just literally scratched the surface, because the depth that you go with this technique and the questions that you just intuitively know how to ask, it's incredible how because the mind creates the story, right? And so you go, oh, hi mind, with your story, what if I ask you this question? And then it goes, and then you go, oh, yes, and I'll ask you this question. And then it goes, and then let's ask this question. So it's very much an inquiry rather than a, and the person who you're asking the question of finds their own truth within it. So it's not like you saying to them, this and this and this and this and this is what's true. No, you're tapping into their personal truth and asking them the questions to discover what their personal truth is. And there is no right or wrong. It's only what's serving you in your highest and best good with love, which is why it's such a beautiful technique.
Well, see, I feel there is a bottom line truth.
What's that?
I feel there is a bottom line truth that we are love. And so I don't give up on that ever. And I just weave my way. I love the way you described that. That was fabulous. I weave my way with the person back to what I know they know to be true. So, and it's fun because I don't buy into the stories and I don't let them stay in their stories because it doesn't serve either one of them. Mm-hmm. And so in that guiding is where I get some transmissions of new material or after a session and I start mulling over things. It's like I'll come up with some really in-depth material that, oh yeah, I see that. It's just And I'm sure that's true with everybody. I mean, we all kind of, no matter where we all kind of mull over what transpired.
Mm-hmm.
But learning not to judge any of it, but to take the value and the gifts that come out of it to keep aligning us more and more into the truth of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I made that commitment to love myself unconditionally. And that's quite a task.
Well, I think it's beautiful for people to be able to use any perceived obstacle or thing that they think they need to transform as a tool for loving themselves more. Because isn't true transformation just learning to love, or just allowing the love that you are to be in this moment?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's like game over.
Exactly. You played that game long enough. Let's try another game.
Exactly. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I really, from when I started doing this kind of work for myself and others, the number of people that now know about loving themselves, they know there is a term unconditional love, and they're learning what that really means. And I can feel the magic and the miracleness of living in that world of infinite possibility, potential, and perspectives. And that is so prevalent anymore. And the synchronicities that are happening. I had the most incredible one yesterday that blew me right out of my tree. And that's, I was, I think I was on listening to Rika Zimmerman, who was my latest teacher, and I really admired her a lot. And there was some phrase in there about being so much in that place of unconditional love that a lot of people don't know how to relate to you. And that just struck a chord in that realization that really most people don't know how to go to depth that I have found myself going. And but one person came to my mind that she and I go to a depth that I don't go with anybody else. And yet I have really deep connections with a lot of people. Anybody that's willing, I go wherever that other person is willing to go. I'm open to go wherever it is, and that doesn't have to be any particular way. But she and I, we just go like this. And it's like, wow, I could relate to that. There was somebody, and there are several people in my life. But she just popped right out into my mind, and she called me immediately.
Wow.
Immediately, that call came in. It wasn't 2 seconds after I had that thought.
Wow.
It was like, oh.
Yeah. It's and this is the thing I think that we're recognizing now is that as we are on this journey toward more oneness and wholeness and knowing more of ourselves and integrating more of ourselves, our psychic capacities are really becoming more known to us. They've always been there. We just didn't recognize them because we've been taught to forget.
Yeah.
And now that we're remembering who we are and remembering we are all love and we're all part of this one amazing beingness, the connection is like instantaneous because there is no time or space when we're in that space of love. It's just it's exactly. And so like our human mind goes, wow, but our divine self goes, yeah, and
right. Exactly. 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 Well, in a way, it almost feels like I've had that response my whole life. It's like, well, yeah, but there's something missing there. I don't know. It's almost like I expect it, but it hasn't been there.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so yeah, so then that caused me to go to sleep because I went to sleep with that belief that we're separate from all of it. And most people don't live in that world of magic and miracles and that unlimited place, which is really the love space or the God space or the source space or whatever you want to call it. And I love that more and more people are tapping into that truth because life is just a bowl full of jelly, we could say.
It is. It's like blissful.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like content.
Yes.
Peaceful.
And it's like nothing shakes you, nothing moves you. It's like, you can't even, like the temptation doesn't even exist anymore to want to play with limitation. It's like, you look at it and you go, I don't even want to, what is that?
Yeah. And I used to play that.
I think what's happening now at this point, there's so many people that are starting to wake up. It's becoming easier and easier and easier to maintain the truth and not get caught up in the story and in the lies anymore. And especially as we build, it's like building a muscle. It's like practice. Like you fall off and then you get back on, and you fall off and you get back on. And as the awareness expands and our awareness awakens more and more, and we can see more and more clearly, we don't want to play with little toys anymore. We're just not interested. It's not even interesting because it's so much more fun to play in the love and in the expansion that we are, and in the knowing of the truth that we're fully supported, we're fully secure, we're fully creative, we're fully expression, we're fully everything that we think that we're not, we already are. And and that's why I love the way that you've got your TTT, because the transformational truth technique actually allows people who are still caught up in the mind and in the story to have a yellow brick road to come back. So I've got Barbara saying, with TTT, the game is never over. The potential is to become open to a next revelation about current situations or a direction we are going. Exactly. The breaking up thing is sometimes the next adventure of self-discovery. So even like breaking up with a partner, correct? She's saying especially in Maui. I almost feel like I had a little bit of a breakup with Maui. But it's fine. We'll be friends again soon. So yes, definitely. Thank you, Barbara. There we go. Okay, Teri, so another thing I would like to find out from you is okay, so there's two things. One, I know that you do personal TTT sessions. So you do them one-on-one with people on Skype or in person if they're lucky enough to be in Maui. But otherwise, you do have Skype and you do that. Is that correct?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay. And then the other thing is...
Or FaceTime.
Or FaceTime. Okay. And then also you are putting together a TTT practitioners course in the new year?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Also, my partner Willie and I are going to be putting out our fun shop.
Oh, cool.
Which is teaching about dowsing and how to use that to empower yourself with your supplements, with your food, with your knowing energies that are harmful, energies that are helpful, and how to deal with that, and a lot of how to communicate with animals.
Oh,
Just a lot
wow.
of really fun things that empower people to play with the energy world and to understand that with our intention, the power of our intention, we can actually douse or communicate with anything, be it animal, be it plant, be it vitamins, be it whatever. So I feel with the way things are going, that people really need this information. They need to know how to really take care of themselves. Because there's so many vitamins, so many doctors, so many blah, 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 blah. How do I know what's good for me? How do I, how do I take care of myself in this myriad of choices?
Mm-hmm. 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 Yes, and there are so many choices. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you look at people who watch TV, you look at the TV channels, and there's like unlimited amounts of rubbish you can watch. It's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I don't watch TV.
Me neither. So I'm just saying, there's unlimited amounts of rubbish you can watch, and it's like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
TTT, what should I watch? Let me muscle test. Oh, none of it.
Yeah. Or, what would be in my highest and best interest to watch on the TV? And then you can get an answer. And if there's nothing, then there's nothing.
Yep.
There might be something. You never know. I know. It's fun. Really, life is here for us to play. And so learning these different ways to play. And I really feel like our fun shop is a way that can free people to play with life. They're no longer a victim.
Mm-hmm. And so if people would like to find out more, they can just go to your website, transformationaltruth.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And on there's a contact form that they can just send you an email via the contact form and you'll receive it. And if they want to book a session with you, they can just do that, transformationaltruth.com, correct?
I don't have those forms on my website yet.
Okay.
But they can call me at 80.
Okay, so Teri, I rather wouldn't want to put your phone number out on internet. Are you there? I think you've paused now, which is a good thing. Barbara's saying she recommends it and she's looking forward to the next adventure. Louise is saying Star Trek Next Generation. I like it, Louise. So it looks like Teri is frozen. I'm not sure what's happened there. But just in case she doesn't come back, we've got another 3 more minutes, I think, for the show today. If you'd like to get in contact with Teri, you can go to transformationaltruth.com or you can email her, and I'll just get that email address here, is Teri, T-E-R-I, Mister, M-I-S-T-E-R, at ne.com. That's Teri Mister at ne.com. So you can contact her with that. I think Teri is frozen. She's disappeared. So I'm going to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. Barbara, Louise, it's wonderful to have had you play with us today. And I think we had Mark also coming in a few times. Barbara, you were just amazing. It was wonderful to have you with us. And thank you for all of your feedback and your giving all of your lovely little comments there. And Louise saying, I highly recommend Teri's work and classes. Barbara's also saying she highly recommends the fun shops and looking forward to her next adventure with Teri, obviously. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming to play with us today. And as always, remember to love your life. Bye-bye.